Hi guys, Raynal here. Today I want to talk about the new Ice Vision card that I expect is going to be released right after Velis. Now I am pre-recording this video because I'll be out by the time it's released, and I'll be away for the entire week, so I couldn't really record it in time. This means two things. First, I haven't seen the news, maybe I'm ahead of time and it's not really being released yet. And also, I haven't yet seen the global exclusive bonus, so I won't be able to factor that in. But frankly, the VC is very good where it's going to be good no matter if it gets a buff or not, so I don't think it's going to influence my rating too much. Now, there is one thing I want to say, though, that's very important, and it's the week after this Vision card was released in JP, they had Winter Luartha. We already have her in Global, so there is kind of a 1 week gap where it would be very easy to release the Global exclusive unit. So I'm really expecting it to be announced the week afterwards. So if you're going to be pulling for this Vision card, please wait until the next Monday. Wait until you see the news, what the Global exclusive unit is if it's released at that point. Or, you know, just plan around that because you will probably need a lot of Viz for it if you want that unit. So just be sure not to spend too much on the Vision card before getting that extra bit of knowledge. Waiting 5 days before pulling is not the end of the world. You won't miss anything too important. With that said, let's take a look at the VC. So this Vision card is designed for an Ice Element Mage. I mean, no surprise, we just got the Ice Mage, Warrior of the Crystal, so it's kind of designed around him. It gives a decent amount of HP at 328. It does give some Spirit, which is very fun in a Vision card. It's always a pro in my book. And then 140 Magic is good. It's nothing extraordinary, but it is a decent amount of stats. Then the individual ability will decrease cast time by 10%, roughly. This is what cast time reduction of 100 translates to, and decreases your crit rate as well. Casting faster is usually a pretty good thing, so it's not something I'm going to complain about. But the big takeaway is really the party ability, where you get magic up 50%. I love these attack up 50%, magic up 50%. I feel like they are very impactful in terms of number. And Ice did not yet have a Vision card that gave it that, so it had to run the Ramu VC, which was not element exclusive, didn't have as many other bonuses, so it's a great addition to the Ice roster. Then on top of that, you get AoE resistance 10, and there's still no penetration for AoE resistance, so it is very impactful. Ice already has a really good single target resistance Vision card, so if you pair the two of them, you are resistant to every type of damage, which is fun. And then it increases maximum damage by 2500, so if you're a big fan of raids or Bucks events or guild raids and you want to get those high scores, it's going to be a great VC for it. Ice is already one of the most solid elements to do these chainings and get high scores, so it's definitely just going to increase Ice's efficiency in those types of trials. Now, as a secondary Vision card, you have some loss, but it's honestly still a very, very good VC. In the individual slot, the 100 cast time reduction is reduced to 80, which means 8% less cast time. It's still quite impactful. The crit rate loss is a little bit lower as well. And then in the party ability, you lose out most of the AoE resistance, so that is a bit unfortunate. It goes down to 3, but you still keep 23% magic and the full increase in maximum damage. So again, for raids and trials, this is going to be best in slot for any type of ice teams, really. So it's very decent both as primary and as secondary. Now, I think you're going to be running this whenever you have a team that's Ice Element that has at least one Mage. Whether it's Velis or Valentine Solir or even maybe Freyevia, the bonuses, since it increases both your offense, healing, and then your AoE resistance, so your tankiness as well, it just makes it a very well-rounded Vision card. Its biggest competitor is really the Freezes Vision card because it has an individual ability of 30% magic up, gives you Ice attack up, which is also very good, and then increases HP by 25%. But because HP is so good in the secondary slot, I feel like you can just put this in secondary slot, the new Vision card in primary, and then have a really solid Ice setup. So it's going to be best in slot, which means the best possible thing to equip on a unit, I think, for Velis and for Valentine Solir with Freezes in secondary, but it's also a really good option if you have a Freyevia in your team, a Rosa, and it could even be put on a Gilgamesh if you have a team full of mages and you're not sure who to put this on, because the extra magic does increase his Katetsu damage, so it's not entirely wasted there as well. But with that said, let's look at a sample setup with a single Mage, because that's where it's harder maybe to fit in. You would have your Mage, could be Velis, could be V Solir, could be somebody else if you wanted to. Equip this Vision card, you get 50% more magic on everyone, but also some AoE resistance, right, which is pretty important and is a lot lower in the secondary slot. then since we have some AoE resistance, I love to use some single target resistance as well, just to make you resistant to all types of damage. And then Aranea has a guaranteed hit, but it's not her most efficient attack. So if you have something like Odin with extra accuracy as well for your ice units, this is going to be relevant. That's why I put this card on Freyevia. And then finally, whatever card supports your attacker the most. It could be Mask of Deceit like we have in here. This would be more of a defensive setup where you have some missile resistance up on top of everything else. Or you could put Laswell's Vision card that increases Man-Eater for physical attacks for ice units, and then attack as well for the unit wearing it. You have a bunch of options to play around, but I feel like this would be a really good setup. And then in secondary, you get some HP up, some slash resistance, and some magic resistance for ice units. So you're just generally very hard to remove from the board, especially with a healer like Velis that comes in and just full lives everybody whenever he takes a turn. And you still have very high amounts of damage because you have a very high magic and attack score on everybody. So this would be an efficient setup in my mind. With that said, I know it's going to be really, really good, but I'm not going to pull for it myself. I feel like the long-term value is definitely there, but it is a permanent pool thing. It is something I could naturally get at some point, and my Viz is low enough currently that I don't want to chase for anything that's not time limited and not extremely game-changing for me. So 50% magic boosts are great, they always will be. There is no penetration for AoE resistance, which makes it very valuable as well. But if you don't have this, you can still put a bunch of other cards that are very good on your mages. You can always put the Black Rose of the Battlefield Vision card, have 15% extra agility for everyone, which is really good. A lot of older players have the Ramuh Vision card maxed out, so they can get that 50% magic up if they want to. They don't need the Ice version. It does have a bit of other goodies, but you still have other alternatives. And then same for the area resistance. There's 2 vision cards that could give you that, either the Death Machine vision card or the Winter Holiday Party. So if you own these and they're already maxed, you don't necessarily have to get a 10 AoE resistance just for ice units, right? So it is a really good vision card, but do not pull for it too quickly. At least wait for the next week's news, just in case it's the global exclusive. If it's not, then sure, go ahead if you want it. But this is going to be my rating. Personally, not pulling for it just yet. I'm not enough of an ice main to want to go for it, and I haven't gotten Velis either. So this is going to be it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.